Hello student, we are studying our first chapter, that is an introduction to energy sources. In our previous video, we have been discussed about the electromagnetic energy spectrum. That means the electromagnetic spectrum which has different regions. That means the gamma rays, UV rays, X rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared rays, microwaves, radio waves. These all are the different regions which are present in the electromagnetic spectrum and which is very important to us. So we discussed about that in our last video. Now in this video we will discuss the new topic of our chapter first, that is solar radiation outside the earth atmosphere. It is also known as the extraterrestrial radiations. Now we will start with that. Let's see. We know that around the sun, the earth is revolved around the sun and also about its own axis. So there is an atmosphere which is present outside the earth, and the radiation outside from that earth atmosphere is known as the extraterrestrial radiation, and we discuss about that right now. So let's see. The graph shows spectral distribution of solar intensity at the outer limit of the atmosphere. The following graph, that is this graph. This graph shows this graph is a radiation intensity versus wavelength in a micrometer, and this is the spectral distribution curve for the solar radiation, and which is very important for the solar spectra. So this graph shows the solar intensity at the outer limit of atmosphere, that means outside the earth surface, that is outer limit of the atmosphere, and this graph shows the distribution of solar intensity which is coming from the sun. So this graph shows the nature like this, that is the maxima in the visible region, that is the in between violet and red. So this graph gives the distribution of solar intensity. The area under the entire curve is the solar radiation. That means if we see this graph, the area under this curved shape region is the solar radiation. That means this graph represents the solar radiation present below the curve. That means there is a maxima in the visible light. The solar or sun emits radiation in the visible region. So we will get the maxima in between the wavelength range 0.4 to 0.7 micrometer, and where maximum radiations are present for the solar spectra, that is about 44%. The intensity is a maximum in the green portion of the visible spectrum, that is at 0.48 micrometer. If we see graph, there is a maxima in between the wavelength range 0.4 to 0.7 micrometer, and where the radiation intensity is a maximum, and which is for the green color, which is present in the visible light and which lies between the violet to red, that means at 0.48 micrometer, where we will get sharp curve, that is there is a maximum radiation intensity for that particular wavelength, that is the wavelength is 0.48 micrometer, and which is for the green color of the visible light. The sun emission spectra indicate that the sun is a black body radiator at a temperature of 5762 Kelvin. As we seen before, we know that the sun acts as a black body, and that means we know that the innermost part of the sun, that is the core part of the sun, there is a generation of energy which is in huge amount, that is in the order of mega electron volt, and this energy creates radiation. That means this energy is emitted in the form of radiation, and the temperature of the sun core is very high. So it acts as a black body and it emits radiation in different wavelengths. So in the graph, the region between 0.7 to 1.5 micrometer, there is a black body spectrum. That means sun emits radiation and the temperature of the sun in this region is near about 5762 Kelvin, that is in the near infrared region, and the sun emits nearly 37% of the radiation or the radiation intensity, and in that range sun acts as the black body. Now this graph shows the curve nature, and this graph is the radiation intensity which is in the amount versus the wavelength in the micrometer. Along x-axis there is a wavelength in the micrometer like a 0.4 micrometer, 0.7 micrometer, 1.0 micrometer and up to so on, and along y-axis there is a radiation intensity, that means the radiation which is coming from the sun. So there are the solar spectra consist of different regions like ultraviolet, visible light, near infrared, far infrared and some amount of microwaves. The ultraviolet rays are present in the solar spectra which is only 7% or nearly 7%, that means the minimum amount, but the solar spectra consists of visible light which is nearly 44%, that is the maximum radiation which are present in the solar spectra, and which is the visible light, that means from violet to red, and the wavelength is 0.4 to 0.7 micrometer. Now after that there is a near infrared region. In that region sun acts as a black body and the temperature of the sun is 5762 Kelvin, and the near infrared radiation is nearly 37%. After that there is a far infrared region, and the solar spectra consist of nearly 11% far infrared radiation, and after that there is a microwaves, that is the very small in amount, that is less than 1%, which is very small, that is the microwaves which are present in the solar spectra. This curve shows the spectral distribution curve of the solar radiation, that means it gives the spectral distribution of the solar radiation or radiation intensity which is coming from the sun. This is about the radiation, solar radiation which are present outside the earth surface or outside the outside the earth atmosphere. So this curve shows the representation of that. Now the table shows solar radiation in various portion of the solar radiation spectrum, that means the table which is shown in below, which shows the solar spectra consists of different radiation, particularly UV rays, visible light rays and IR rays, and this is shown in this table. From this table we see that the visible part of the solar energy spectrum carries about half of its total energy. As we seen in table, the solar radiation spectrum, that means the maximum part of the solar radiation spectrum is the visible light, which is shown in also graph. There is a maximum between violet to red color, that is the visible region, and for that nearly 47.3% energy, that means the total energy, percentage of total energy which is for the visible light rays, that is the 47.3%, and which is the half of its total energy, that is the solar spectra total energy. It is the maximum radiation which are present in the solar spectra is the visible light rays. Now there are different parameters for the UV rays, visible light rays and infrared rays. First parameter is the wavelength range, and which is in the micrometer. The wavelength for UV rays lies between 0 to 0.38, nearly 0 to 0.38 micrometer, and the wavelength for visible light rays lies between 0.38 to 0.78 micrometer, and also for the IR rays, that is the infrared rays, which is lies in between 0.78 to 4.0 micrometer. Now the next parameter is the approximate energy, that means the approximate energy. Generally if we measure the solar intensity with the help of instrument which are used for the measurement of solar intensity, we will get the intensity, maximum intensity in the range between 700 to 1000, or sometimes when the intensity is more, which is nearly in the 1200. So the energy of that radiation for the UV rays, only for the UV rays, not for the total, the approximate energy for the UV rays is nearly 95 watt per meter cube. That means in a particular area the energy we will get is in the order of 95. And for the visible light rays, which is the 640 watt per meter cube, and also for the IR rays, which is the 618 watt per meter cube. Now next parameter is the approximate percentage of total energy. Now suppose we consider the total energy is the 100%. Now out of that, the UV rays which are present in the solar spectra, which has the percentage of the total energy, is the nearly 7%, and also for the visible light rays, which is the 47.3%, that is the half of its total energy, nearly half of its total energy. And for the IR rays, which is the 45.7%. So from above information we conclude that the solar radiation, which consists of mostly visible light, that is the maxima of the solar distribution curve, solar radiation distribution curve, lies in between the visible range, that is the 0.38 to 0.78 micrometer, and in that region we will get maximum solar radiation or maximum intensity of the solar radiation. The curve shows the spectral distribution of extraterrestrial radiations available at the mean Earth Sun distance and 1353 watt per meter square as a solar constant. Now as we seen this curve is studied, or this curve is shows spectral distribution of the extraterrestrial radiation available at when the distance between the Earth and Sun, which is the mean distance, as we seen before, that is 1.5 into 10 to the power 11 meter, and the solar constant for that curve, which is nearly 1353 watt per meter square. That is for that value we study the spectral distribution curve. However, due to the fact that the Earth revolves around the Sun not in a circular orbit but follows an elliptical path, with Sun is one of the foci, there is a variation in extraterrestrial radiation. We know that the Earth is revolving around the Sun, but it does not follow the circular path, but it follows the elliptical path. That means we will get the radiation intensity, or there is a variation in the extraterrestrial radiation. That means we will get the intensity at a different location, which is the different. So there is a variation in the extraterrestrial radiation season wise, or there is a change due to the revolution of the Earth around the Sun, and which follows the elliptic path, so that there is a variation in extraterrestrial radiation. Now this is all about the solar radiation outside the Earth atmosphere. Now the next point of our chapter is the solar radiation at the Earth surface. Now before that we have been discussed the solar radiation outside the Earth atmosphere. That means the solar radiation which are present outside the Earth atmosphere. But in that point we will study the solar radiation at the Earth surface. That means the solar radiation which are passing through the earth atmosphere, and then after that they reach the earth surface. The solar radiation at the earth's surface is also known as the terrestrial radiations, and before we have seen which is the extraterrestrial radiation. Now let us discuss terrestrial radiations. The solar radiation received at the earth's surface is in an attenuated form because it is subjected to mechanism of absorption and the scattering as it passes through the earth atmosphere. Now if sun emits radiation, then there is a possibility that there is a absorption or scattering mechanism when this radiation passes through the earth atmosphere. We know that within the earth atmosphere there are different gases or moisture or water vapors or some layer, that is the ozone. From that we will get less intensity, or sometimes we will get more the intensity which is as it is. But when the sun emits radiation, it will go through the earth atmosphere, and there are different possibilities such as the absorption and scattering. After absorption and scattering we will get the radiation, and this radiation reaches the earth surface. Now discuss the mechanism of absorption and scattering. Now let's see the mechanism of absorption and the scattering. So first is the absorption. It occurs because of presence of ozone and water vapors in the atmosphere due to gases like carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, CO2 that is the carbon dioxide, O2 that is the oxygen, and CH4 is the methane. These are the different gases and particular matter. Absorption takes place when the radiation which is coming from the sun, which are absorbed by the ozone layer or the water vapors in the atmosphere. The water vapors due to the gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, oxygen or methane gas, and the particular matter, that is the radiation coming from the sun absorbed by all those, and so that we will get the less intensity. As the solar radiation passes through the earth atmosphere, the UV rays are absorbed by the ozone in the atmosphere, and IR waves are absorbed by carbon dioxide and moisture in the atmosphere. When the radiation emitted from the sun, we know that the solar spectra consist of different radiations, that means UV rays, IR rays, visible rays, some amount of microwaves. The UV rays which are emitted from the sun, when it passes through the earth atmosphere, it get absorbed by the ozone layer, and this ozone layer present in the atmosphere, and the IR rays are absorbed by the carbon dioxide and the moisture which present in the atmosphere. It results an increase in the internal energy of the atmosphere. That means we know that the UV rays and IR rays are absorbed by the ozone layer and the carbon dioxide and moisture, but the ozone layer and the carbon dioxide and also moisture are present in the atmosphere. So these all absorb the UV rays and IR rays. We know that the UV rays and IR rays has some energy, and this energy is absorbed by the ozone layer and the carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere. So the internal energy of the atmosphere, it increases. So this is the absorption. Now second mechanism is the scattering. The scattering occurs due to all gaseous molecules and the particulate matter in the atmosphere. Scattering occurs due to the gas molecules like carbon dioxide, oxygen, methane, and the particulate matter in the atmosphere. The radiation scattered from that, so they are scattered in a different direction. A portion of this scattered radiation always reaches the Earth's surface as a diffuse radiation. As this radiation coming from the sun, the radiation scattered from where from the gaseous molecules and the particulate matter. Now after that, radiation always reaches the earth surface, and which is as the diffuse radiation. There are different types of the radiation, but the after scattering the radiation reaches the earth surface is known as the diffuse radiations. It must be realized that scattering attenuates the radiation. That means we know that there is a scattering of the radiations from the gaseous molecules and the particulate matter. After that, there is a change of path of the radiation, and so they scattered here and there in the atmosphere. So the intensity of the radiation decreases so that the scattering attenuates the radiation. The scattered radiations is redistributed in all directions, some going into space and some reaching the earth surface. That means due to scattering, there is a change in a path or change in the direction of the radiation, and some radiations after scattering again go back to the space and some reaching the earth surface. That means the intensity of the scattering radiation is very less as compared to the radiation which are directly coming to the earth surface. Now this is the scattering. These two mechanisms, that is the absorption and scattering, are very important. When the radiation reaches the earth surface, they affect the intensity of the radiations. So this diagram represents the mechanism of absorption and the scattering, and also beam and diffuse radiation received at the earth surface. Now if we consider the bottom line, that is the earth surface, and the upper curved line is the upper limit of atmosphere. That means we know that outside the earth surface there is a atmosphere, and if we consider the upper limit of the atmosphere, that is which is shown by curved line in the figure, this is the upper limit of the atmosphere, that is the curved line. Now after that there is a solar radiation, that means the radiation which are coming from the sun. Now some radiations are directly coming towards the earth surface. That means there is no change of path or there is no change in direction. So this radiation directly coming to the earth surface or directly reaches to the earth surface. That means the line which is shown in the figure, and this line, that is the long line which is shown in the figure, the solar radiation directly reaches to the earth surface and is known as the beam or direct radiation. But the some radiations are absorbed by the gaseous or particulate matter present in the atmosphere. So the horizontal arrows which are shown in the figure, there is an absorption of the solar radiation. That means the absorption mechanism. Now some radiations are undergoes scattering. That means in the right hand side which is shown in the figure, there is a scattering, and after scattering some radiation again going to the space. That means the scattered radiation reflected back to the space. That is above the curved line there is a reflected radiation, and which are going back to the space. And after scattering, the radiation scattered here and there in the atmosphere, and after that they reaches the earth surface, and which is shown in the figure at the bottom, that is above the earth surface. That is the diffuse radiation and scattered radiation reaching the earth surface. That means the radiation after scattering reaching the earth surface is known as the diffuse radiation. In this way, the figure shows the mechanism of absorption and scattering and beam and diffuse radiation which is received at the earth surface. Now we know that outside the earth surface there is an atmosphere, but the atmosphere again classified into two types. That is, the atmosphere at any location on the earth surface is often classified into two broad types, such as, that is, first is an atmosphere without clouds, and second one is an atmosphere with the clouds. That is when the cloud are present in the atmosphere and when there is no presence of the cloud in the atmosphere. Now first, an atmosphere without clouds. If the atmosphere is without clouds, it is obvious that less attenuation takes place. Consequently, maximum radiation is received on the Earth surface. That means if there is no cloud in the Earth atmosphere, then there is a possibility, or it is obvious that less attenuation takes place. That means there is no absorption, that means less absorption and less scattering. So the attenuation is less, that means the intensity of the radiation is a maximum as compared to when there is a cloud. So therefore there is a maximum radiation received on the Earth surface. That means the maximum radiation reaches the Earth surface when there is no cloud in the atmosphere. But in second type, that is the B, an atmosphere with the clouds. If the atmosphere is a cloudy, more attenuation takes place. That means if there is a cloud present in the atmosphere, that is a cloudy atmosphere. In cloudy atmosphere there is a possibility of the presence of the different gases, particulate matter, water vapors and other some particulate matter. So there is an absorption of radiation in that region, and so we will get the less intensity of the solar radiation, that is the more attenuation takes place. Consequently, minimum radiation is received on the Earth's surface, which is in the form of diffuse or scattered radiation. That means after attenuation or after absorption or scattering due to cloudy weather, there is a less intensity, that is minimum radiation is received on the Earth surface. That is due to scattering, this radiation scatter here and there, so we will get less radiation, or minimum radiation is received on the Earth surface, and which is in the form of diffuse or scattered radiation. So there are two types of the atmosphere, that is the atmosphere with the cloud and atmosphere without clouds. So the cloud affects the radiation intensity. That means when the cloud in the atmosphere, then there is a less intensity, and when the atmosphere is without cloud, there is a more intensity. So this is all about the radiation which are present at the Earth surface, or which are coming to the Earth surface. So these are two phenomena takes place in the radiation which are coming to the Earth surface, that is the absorption and the scattering. These two phenomena are very important for the radiation intensity. Now depending on the radiation reaching the Earth surface, there are three types of the radiations. That is, there are three types of the radiation which reaching the Earth surface, which is as follows. That is, first one is the beam radiations, which is also known as direct radiation. Second one is the diffuse radiation, and last one is the global radiation. The global radiation is also known as total radiations. That means the global radiation is the sum of beam radiation and the diffuse radiation, therefore it is known as total radiation. Beam radiation is the radiation which are coming directly to the Earth's surface without any deviation or without change in any direction. So this is also known as the direct radiation. But the diffuse radiation, as we seen, the diffuse radiation is due to scattering of the radiation. That means after scattering we will get the radiations, or we get the radiations. These radiations are known as the diffuse radiation. These three types of the radiation which are coming to the Earth surface because of different mechanism, that means the absorption or scattering. So these all are the three types of the radiations. Now we will discuss these three types in detail in our next video, that is the beam radiation, diffuse radiation and global radiation. Now we will discuss these all three types in detail in our next video.